This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you're listening to the WWE Podcast.
The champ is
the one that everybody wants, me.
Becky Lynch is going to WrestleMania. Claymore!
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. This is my iron. You're going to acknowledge me.
Well, the WWE Draft Night 1 has concluded, and we know now who will be on Raw, who will be on SmackDown, at least for half of the roster. A draft that I have to be honest, if this were to be believed that it's a real draft, makes no sense at all from a pick perspective. I mean, you have LA Knight going in the third round. You have Carmelo Hayes in the second round, the third overall pick. You have Bianca Belair, the overall number one pick. Okay, you have AJ Styles, you know, the guy that's going to be in the main event of Backlash, challenging your top guy for the WWE Undisputed Championship in the fourth round. Explain how AJ Styles is in the same round as Kiana James. All right. Kiana James, who most fans don't know and didn't know the name until she was chosen in the fourth round. AJ Styles is in the fourth round. And by the way, Kiana James, if you haven't seen her before, she essentially is just a girl boss gimmick. I mean, you talk about a perfect heel gimmick. An unlikable gimmick. I mean, there you go. You talk about like feminism wrapped into a gimmick. Kiana James is it. So she's a heel right off the bat, and I think a very good heel. And now that I've angered all the feminists who listen to this, it is what it is. She's just a very unlikable person when it comes to her gimmick. But that's not my point. My point is that this draft is a farce. All right? It's a farce. It's optics. It's performative. That's all this is. Now, I was looking forward to the draft like everyone else. It is a fun time of year. You get to imagine who's going to be where and what the rivalries could be like. And outside of the fact that you have Bianca Belair, the overall number one pick, really? And also, how has Roman Reigns just decided that he is ineligible for the draft? How does that happen? How does Roman Reigns just decide that? You can't just decide that, but okay, fine. We'll go with it. There's other problems too. And I know that those of you who would say this is the complaining podcast, well, I guess you're going to be validated here because on top of all of those issues, you have the idea that champions can't move and they are going to be staying with the original brand that they're on, right? Well, if that's the case, then Cody Rhodes should be on Raw, not SmackDown. You may say, well, wait a minute. No, Cody Rhodes won the championship. Well, yeah, he did, but the championship is not drafted. The person is. So Cody, who was drafted to Raw last year, won the championship from Roman Reigns, and therefore, if we're told that the champion is supposed to stay with the draft, well, then Cody Rhodes would stay on Raw. You don't draft championships, you draft people. So it doesn't make sense. Cody Rhodes should be on Raw. He never transferred to SmackDown officially anyway. So, hey, I mean, this is just ridiculous. This draft is a farce. The picks make no sense. And here's what I think. These picks are a lot for optics, as I've said. And what do I mean by that? It's for perception. It's for how it looks on paper to the public, to their stakeholders, to their shareholders, to those that they care about who looks at this and says, oh, this is how they rank their stars. Oh, okay. Let's make sure that we have X, Y, and Z type of people, races, in the top part of the draft. And I know that some of you may be saying, whoa, wait a minute. You're saying that Bianca was drafted just because she's a certain skin color? Well, no, I'm saying that when you look at how the brand is currently laid out, how can you make the argument that Bianca Belair is the number one overall pick out of everyone. How can you make that claim based on only on merit, current status in the company? How can you make that claim? You can't. You can't. Other than it's optics, okay? It's optics to the public, to the culture we're in. And I have no issue with Carmelo Hayes being in the draft, Nia Jax being in the draft, okay? Like I said, Bianca Belair being in the draft. They all should be absolutely involved. But if you're going to tell me Bianca Belair is above the Bloodline, who, by the way, got drafted in the 3rd round, I mean, no. By merit, by currently who should be valued highest on the roster, it's like children were in the war rooms, which we all know was performance as well. So this has nothing to do for me of I don't care who's black, who's white, but I understand what's happening in the culture, and I understand the values of the now TKO owned WWE. And they are very much in the DEI, those of you who know what I'm talking about knows what that means, culture. So that means that they're going to make sure that they have the that all different races and sexes are represented in the part of the draft. And you say, how are you politicizing the draft? There's no other way to explain this. There's just none. Bianca Belair is also above Randy Orton. I mean, just when it comes to merit and star power, you're joking. Okay, now I love Bianca Belair. I love her in-ring wrestling. I still believe Bianca Belair is the single most, from pure athleticism standpoint, the best pure athlete on the women's side, and arguably even on the men's. I mean, if they wanted to ever, and I really would advise against this, but she could compete with the men. She has a hell of a personality. She doesn't do anything to embarrass the company. She is somebody you could lean on to be a face of the company. Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. I don't like her gimmick. I think it's a little childish and girlish to be twirling your hair around in your 30 some years old. I don't like that. But I think Bianca Belair is an absolute asset to the company, one of the biggest that they have in the women's division. And eventually we get to a Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair program, which I think they're a ways off from that, maybe next year at WrestleMania. Now, I know that some of you are already annoyed with me. I'm complaining already, and we haven't even started the show. But I'm calling a spade a spade. I'm just calling it. There's no argument for doing it the way that you're doing this if the system is purely based on merit and star power. You have nothing here to set your sights on. I mean, you have Seth Rollins picked in the 1st round. That makes sense. Jey Uso as a 2nd overall pick. That's a little borderline, but I understand it. You have Liv Morgan in the 2nd round. I mean, Liv Morgan's like a 3rd, 4th round pick. You have Randy Orton in the 2nd round, which makes no sense from a star power perspective and a pure merit. You have the Bloodline in the 3rd round, Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa, really? As a 3rd round pick in the 3rd round? Are you kidding? You have AJ Styles? I mean, what? What are we doing? Now, all of this to say, now that I've angered some of you for bringing in politics and culture, which I'm sorry but not sorry that this is something that is now bleeding into wrestling because of who the owners of the company are. I don't care if you think I'm wrong. I don't care if you don't want me to bring it into the draft, but it's a part of it. It's about how it looks. It's outward perspective. It just is what it is, and it's objectively true, okay? But all that to say, put all that aside. Since it's all performance and it's all just optics and it's all those little fancy words, right? None of this really matters at the end of the day in terms of who's picked when. They tried to line it up with the NFL draft, catch the wave, ride the wave of the draft season, which, by the way, I have I have zero intelligence when it comes to the NFL draft. Anybody that wants to talk to me about the NFL draft, who went where and why, I have no damn clue. I have zero intelligence when it comes to the NFL in terms of especially the draft. I have no idea. Okay. Zero And nor do I have any interest in it either. So the reason I say that is not to just give you my lack of intelligence and introspective into what I don't know about the NFL, but also direct you to someone that does. And that is Football Function, hosted by our own Michael Ritter, who does the SmackDown reviews. You want some fun and insight and intelligent conversation when it comes to football, especially the draft, hit up Michael Ritter's podcast. It's the Football Function podcast. Now, after all my little mini anger rants and my just objective truth about what this draft is now, which is all just eyewash, is the fact that it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter who's picked when. Outside of the after a couple of weeks go by and they take the graphic off the screen of first overall pick or first round pick or whatever, that's going to go away quickly. And you know why this doesn't matter? Because ultimately what they do on the brand matters. Fans aren't going to remember in even a couple of weeks who was drafted in what round. Okay, fans aren't going to care after the next week or so. Because it matters what you do and the programs you're in and the matches you put on ultimately. So, with all of my just complete distaste for how they conduct the draft now and the common sense that is lacking here, okay, there is no common sense when it comes to how the people were chosen here. That is very clear that it's all just how would the public perceive this if it was a real draft, and let's make sure that our picks align with what our political views are. So let's make sure we do that. Okay, check. Again, none of it matters because you're going to have what really matters coming up next, which is the rest of the damn year and what these people do the rest of the year. Okay? So I just want to be very clear about that right off the bat. And I know I've pissed off some of you right now already. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, I know you have no other shows probably talking about this. No other shows bringing in what is true here. I know that sometimes truth makes people angry or annoyed. It is what it is. It's just true. All right. This isn't my opinion because you cannot give me another reason for all of this happening. And don't tell me, well, they look at the future of the company. Oh, really? Is Seth Rollins the future of the company and picked in round one? Is Randy Orton the future? No, he's not. They're not. All right. What also was confusing to me outside of the political agenda here, which was very clear, the very much how does this look to our stakeholders view, it was LA Knight staying on SmackDown, Randy Orton staying on SmackDown, AJ Styles staying on SmackDown, Bianca Belair staying on SmackDown, the Bloodline staying on SmackDown, and probably Roman Reigns as well eventually. Jey Uso staying on Raw, Seth Rollins staying on Raw, Liv Morgan staying on Raw, Ricochet staying on Raw, Sheamus staying on Raw, Alpha Academy staying on Raw. What changed exactly? What changed? This is outside again, out of the take the rounds away and all the nonsense that makes no sense if this was a real draft. Take all that away and just look at the drafts themselves, regardless of who was picked when. This draft, night one, what changed? Braun Breaker going to Raw? I mean, wasn't he kind of floating anyway? Or wasn't Braun Breaker a part of SmackDown? So maybe he's the one change. Kiana James didn't have a home yet, so she's on Raw. Sheamus, again, nothing changed. Okay, Nia Jax, maybe, right? Maybe Nia Jax going to SmackDown. She was the change. Andrade, I think, was a change. But there's no earth-shattering changes. I mean, why LA Knight is not on Raw is a weird, to me, a very strange choice. Now, they may look at this and say, no, he's staying on SmackDown. He's eventually going to feud with Roman again or feud with the Bloodline again. That's why we're going to keep him there. What also is very confusing to me is Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns are likely, although not confirmed because Roman was off the draft, because I think they want flexibility in where he goes and all that. Seth Rollins, if Roman's not going to Raw, they're not on the same brand again. So Roman and Seth are not on the draft or on the same brand for like the third year in a row. How does this happen? Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, like, I understand maybe they're going to bring Roman back as a babyface, and that's why, but you could turn Seth heel. I'm not understanding this. You have essentially, after night one, the same people outside of a couple of small changes from Nia Jax and Braun Breaker going to Raw. But those aren't very significant. Let's be real. So you're looking at the same roster, so why even have the draft? And by the way, all this being said, if they're going to run this as Vince McMahon has, and they've shown it that they're not going to really abide by too many of the rules, or at least the integrity of what the draft should mean and who should go where, and you can't just go over to the other brand without reason and without permission, they're going to violate these rules as they see fit, because they've told us and shown us in the past for years on end that they have no respect for their own rules. So I'm going to give it, what's the over-under? Give me the over-under, because these drafts, I believe these rosters go into effect May 6th. Is that a Monday? Is it May 6th? Something like that. So I think it is. I think it's Monday Night Raw, May 6th. So that means after May 6th, guys, what's the over-under? Maybe not even on the number of weeks, the number of days that they get until they violate their own rules and somebody comes over and, they're not supposed to be here, or they don't even acknowledge that they're there. That's the one thing I hope Triple H maybe does in this round here, but I don't know if I have much faith, because Triple H has been in charge for some time now and has really not given a damn about the draft. So, hey, I know I'm complaining about it, but it's deserving of criticism. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that these aren't big, significant problems. Okay? Now, outside of that on SmackDown, you got some nice returns for cameo appearances for a night. Teddy Long was always fun to see. JBL there in person. You had Tori Wilson and Michelle McCool there. Undertaker chants. Teddy Long, yes, got the third round wrong. Like he said something wrong. Who cares? You also, what were the other? Dudley Boys. Dudley Boys were there, so that was cool to see. Anytime they're reunited, it is kind of a cool moment. Although I disagree a lot with Bully Ray on Busted Open Radio. There's not a lot I agree with him on per se, but not nearly as much as Dave LaGreca. Okay, so Dave LaGreca on there is it's unbelievable how he has that show, I have to say. All right. But anyway, I'm not going to hit other podcasts. They're very successful, and kudos to them. So, this draft pool for the first night, it just was very, very, very perplexing. Now, that all to say, guys, welcome to the WWE podcast. If you're still here and you're not angry with me, and I don't have, I'm not speaking to a crowd of zero after my truth speaking. Okay, that's just what it is. It's just laying down some truth that no one else is talking about, and they're just analyzing the draft and going, oh, well, so-and-so's here and there, and it wasn't too much of a draft. Okay, you're going to get the truth here, and you always will, regardless of how much people get angry at me. I could care less, and I adopted a don't give an F. I took all my Fs. See my Fs in my hand? I picked them up, loaded them in my arms. I cradled them for a while, and then I proceeded to put them in a trash can. Tuesday night is trash night here at my house. Put them in the trash can, and I watched them get dumped right into the truck and crushed. All right? So that's where my Fs are when it comes to just speaking how it is and you shouldn't talk about this. It's a wrestling. Guess what? I don't care. Okay? I just want to be real. My thing is not about trying to actually actively anger people. It's to just always give you the promise that I will speak the truth here. I have no agenda when it comes to trying to get ratings or trying to, he said this or he's spreading rumors. I don't spread rumors on this show. I just say things people don't like, and then it gets, people get angry with me, but that's just a difference of opinion. So that's the reason for my kind of changes of the last month or so. It's just my promise to you and to myself, selfishly, that I'll always be true when I'm speaking about the WWE. And yes, there's criticism, but it's because I love the product. I want to see it always be better, and it is in a very good place right now. Despite how much you hear me complain about things and nitpick, I still love it. And if I didn't, I wouldn't be sitting here. Okay, so I want to be very clear about that. When people think, oh, it's the criticism podcast. Yeah, well, okay, if that's how you view it, I mean, cool. Thanks for the rating and thanks for the review. Still helps me, you know. Although I have dropped to a 3.9 out of 5 stars on Apple. So, I mean, I'm very, very offended by that. You know, maybe I'll cancel the podcast over that. So if you guys don't mind, you know, maybe give me a more 5-star ratings so my feelings aren't as hurt. Okay. If you can sense the sarcasm, you're on your way here. All right. So beyond the draft, we got Cody Rhodes and Carmelo Hayes. Really good match. Puts Carmelo Hayes on the map. He gets a good pop. Feels like he belongs. Cody Rhodes obviously gets the victory, though, and hits the crossroads for the victory. So it's a way to just kind of get Carmelo Hayes in the minds of fans. You knew he wasn't going to win here. It's a matter of just getting him on the map, and I think they did a good job of it. If you didn't already know who or what he is, now you're like, oh, okay, that's Carmelo Hayes. Oh, okay. So you're starting to become familiar at least with the name. So that's really the goal here, and I think they accomplished that goal. Again, Cody Rhodes and the contract signing with AJ Styles, it was very much a mutually respectful contract signing. Even with AJ Styles playing the heel, it wasn't disrespectful in any capacity. They were very much agreeing that they have kind of driven the same road, been on the same path to their destination. They had to prove themselves outside of WWE, and they did that. And no fists were thrown, nor do I think any needed to be. AJ Styles' new music, I think, is a good thing. It throws a new fresh coat of paint on him. I like that. You know, it was a very frank conversation. One that, of course, because we can't have it now without it, a Dusty mention. Guys, even those of you that are the most adamant Cody fans, those of you that love Cody, hate everything I have to say about Cody Rhodes, those of you, and I know there's many of you, let me speak to you. I'm asking you this genuinely. Would you like to see a Cody program that does not involve the words Dusty Rhodes in it? I'm asking for a friend, because how many times, if not every single time, maybe outside of the Brock Lesnar feud with Cody Rhodes, do we need to see and hear Dusty Rhodes being brought in directly, indirectly in a Cody Rhodes program? For all the talk we hear about Cody paving his own path, all the talk we hear about Cody is, you know, standing in the shadow of his dad, but now Cody is the one who's driving the family forward. He's the one that's in charge. He's the captain of the ship. How can you stand outside of your dad's shadow and say you want to pave your own path when the name is constantly mentioned? It's almost like every program is about Dusty Rhodes. How many times do we have to go back to the well to try to pull on the emotional ties of the fans for his daddy died? Even those of you that love Cody, please tell me you're tired of this. Please tell me we want Cody and his character alone to stand on its own, solely without the crutch of his daddy's death. Can we please, and I'm speaking from, of course, a fan that is not a fan of the Cody Rhodes babyface character, but still very understanding and respectful of why he's very successful, and I get it. But I just want to see Cody involved in a program that doesn't have to do with dad. It's been 2 effing years now since he's been back. Since WrestleMania 38. And we're still bringing him into everything that's being talked about with Cody. It's not mentioned ad nauseum all the time in every single promo, but it's enough where it's just like, can we get a different strategy, a different formula for Cody Rhodes here? I don't know. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. Again, I'm asking the Cody Rhodes fans here. Are you sick of it yet? Or maybe you're still loving it. Maybe you still find value in bringing his daddy into every program. Maybe you do. I'm serious. But I honestly I don't see it anymore. And if you're going to try to tell me that he's trying to forge his own path, yet bring up his path or bring up his dad every single 5 seconds, then then I don't see how that's really going to be, those two things are working together. All right. We get another turn. Poor old Rey Mysterio. Okay. We got LWO. Okay. We got Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee, who took out and defeated Legado del Fantasma, Angel Garza, and Humberto Carrillo, after Mysterio hit a 619 and Lee finished, put away Garza with an Operation Dragon. Fine. So the LWO, you seemingly were done with the Legado del Fantasma program, moving on. And then we get the Santos Escobar reveal of the videotape backstage of Carlito attacking Dragon Lee. He's revealed as the attacker. Carlito then attacks. Dragon Lee hits a code breaker, hits Rey Mysterio because Rey Mysterio gets turned on every 5 seconds, and Carlito escapes through the crowd. I got to say, I didn't think Carlito was going to be the guy. I thought he was more of a nostalgic act that they didn't have a ton of plans for. I was wrong, and I'm glad I was wrong there. But, I mean, first of all, it's 2024. Are we still dealing with camera footage that looks like GTV? If you know, you know. IYKYK, right? Those of you in the late 90s, early 2000s. I mean, the security footage in a highly secured building with many like mega stars coming through, musicians, sports stars, WWE. We still look like we are capturing security footage through a 1997, Sony handheld camera that only can shoot in black and white. I mean, of course, it's just, it's not really a complaint, more of just something that's hilarious to me, that the security footage quality has not changed in 20 years. I mean, like, we haven't got any advancements in security camera quality. I don't know. It's fine. It does add to the presentation because we think of security footage as being a little grainy, a little mysterious. You can't always truly make out what's going on. There's never any sound. I get it, but it's also hilarious. Like, you know that clearly it's not actual security footage from a security camera there. It is definitely just an overlay of the camera. Like, they just put a filter on it and made it look old. Which is, I mean, again, not a complaint for those of you who are sitting tallying all my complaints today on a scorecard. It's not a complaint. It's just an observation that I think is hilarious. Also hilarious, and also not a complaint, 2 for 2 here, is Rey Mysterio getting turned on again. Now, Dragon Lee is more of the target here, but Rey Mysterio, by proxy, is also being turned on by someone else. Okay, like, how many times Rey Mysterio's gotten... I mean, seriously, can someone tally it? Someone out there has got the time for it. I mean, Rey Mysterio gets turned on. I mean, I don't know what it is about him. I don't know what it is about the fact that Rey Mysterio just can't hold a friend. His own son turned on him, for God's sakes. It's just poor old Rey Mysterio. But I do love this, really, because Carlito, I think, has been sorely underutilized. I really do. There's more there left in the tank. He got himself into great shape. I think there is something there that you could have a short run with him. Not as champion, but in a fun little program. And I like what they're doing here. I have no issue with it. So Carlito versus Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio, and maybe Carlito's joining Legado. I don't know, because Carlito can't be outnumbered here. He's got to find somebody else to work with to even the odds. So, okay, we got Braun Breaker versus Cedric Alexander. Very quick here, very Jade Cargill type of match with a spear snapping Cedric in half, and we got Braun Breaker beating Cedric. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill challenge the Kabuki Warriors to a women's tag team title match at Backlash. I have no issue with this. You saw it coming. Bianca comes out, the Kabuki Warriors follow, and then Jade comes out to stand side by side with Bianca, and they're going to clearly win this match. There's just no chance that Bianca and Jade don't win this match. I mean, come on, right? You're not going to have Jade's first loss in a tag team match against the Kabuki Warriors. Bianca and Jade are overpowering as a tag team, a fun tag team, and the split that'll eventually happen with Jade and Bianca is what this is designed to do. So you could have Bianca and Jade go, I mean, most of the summer, and they probably will, as tag team champions. You could have them probably go into the fall, even as tag team champions. Hell, you could have them go all the way to next year's WrestleMania as champion. That's probably a little long. But the point of this would be to have Bianca and Jade split. And who would be the heel here? Probably Jade Cargill. I would imagine Jade would be eventually down months down the line, probably again into the fall of this year at the earliest. Jade will be the one to turn on Bianca. All right. I think that's what'll happen eventually. So fun. It'll be a fun little program. It's going to be interesting to see how long this match is, though, with Bianca Belair likely doing 80% of the work with the hot tag to Jade, which has been the formula. Jade does 3 moves and gets the victory. Can you not see it? Can you not see it? You know, I do want more out of Jade because there is something more there. But clearly they don't trust her enough to have a long form match, or they're trying to protect her weaknesses. That's seemingly what it is. That's all. I mean, it's not a knock on Jade. She looks like a $5 million asset. She is amazing when it comes to physical look. Now, and I don't mean from the perspective of a male, like, oh my God, I'm so attracted to her. It's more of just pure athletic, Michelangelo type of superstar. Like, that is how you would craft a star. She is exactly from that mold. She looks amazing. I mean, it's incredible. And I do like her look. It is going to carry her very far, but only so far. Only so far before the fans go, okay, all right, Jade, that's enough. We get it. You look like $1 million. Your entrance is, it's mesmerizing. Can you give us more than 3 moves? Can you fill up my hand with different maneuvers? Can you go beyond my single hand with the number of maneuvers you perform in the ring? And I'm serious, because I think when she puts that all together, and does have more than 4 moves in a match and shows that she can hold an 8 to 10 minute match, it doesn't have to be 25 minutes. She could be the biggest star in WWE. I'm serious. I mean, even competing with the men's side of things, when she puts the whole puzzle together, which is really the one piece she's missing, is probably promo. She hasn't proven that she's a excellent promo yet, and in ring, she could be one of the biggest stars the company's ever had, because she has such an amazing look that is going to really make up for the lack of the other two, but only for a short period of time. I mean, so there. All right. Naomi then took out Tiffany Stratton, but only because of disqualification. But the disqualification was caused by Nia Jax hitting Naomi during a brawl with Bayley. So Nia Jax, the newly drafted star to SmackDown, takes out Naomi, brawls with Bayley. And Nia Jax, I've been very tough on her. And I don't regret anything I've said. So don't think I'm taking anything back. I'm not. But I can evolve my opinion. And my opinion is she is an asset to the women's division. One that I didn't think she could be, because we've never seen her in this type of role. She had some really good matches with Becky Lynch. I thought there was a chance she could win the women's championship on Raw. I thought she still probably could and should have, do I dare say. Although we now have Becky Lynch on Raw with the women's championship, the vacated women's championship from Rhea Ripley. But I think there was something there with Nia Jax. They clearly have other plans for her on the SmackDown side of things. Now, we also don't know where maybe Charlotte's going to land. She was on SmackDown, but maybe she gets drafted to Raw. I'll have to see what the draft pool is for Monday night to finish out the draft. But Charlotte could eventually take on Nia Jax. We've seen a little bit of that before. But they have other plans for her on SmackDown, and she got a pretty strong negative reaction. And that's a positive if you're a heel. So Nia Jax, I think, is overachieving and has overachieved for quite some time. So, all right. The Final Testament were attacking New Catch Republic backstage. So this is encouraging, but I'm cautiously optimistic that this is going to be a trend, because for WWE, we have seen throughout the ages their inconsistency with groups like this. I mean, I do like the Final Testament. And I think that there is something there that they haven't unlocked. Paul Ellering actually said something backstage for once, although it was kind of on the camera's mic, not really as a promo. We do have really good facials from Karrion Kross. He seems very believable. The Final Testament, kind of a little bit of a religious tie there, kind of a cult-like group attacking the team here. And I don't think the team of New Catch Republic, I don't think that they are exactly a beloved tag team. The New Catch Republic is just kind of let's be real, a very much neutral, just generic wrestling team. They don't have a whole lot of personality, which is not going to work in their favor when they face the Final Testament, because people are just going to cheer for them because not because they want New Catch Republic to win, but because they don't like the Final Testament. So it's really more of a referendum on the lack of connection with the New Catch Republic and the fans, rather than it is with the fans wanting to see the New Catch Republic win because they like them. If that makes sense. I think I twisted that more than it needed to be. But moving on, the women's champion, as I said, Bayley took on Naomi. The women's champion Bayley versus Naomi versus Tiffany Stratton was announced for Backlash. And this was according to Nick Aldis, who's done such an excellent job, at least from how it looks, how he feels as a general manager, has been very impressive. I've loved almost everything he's done here. Just loved it. And, the only thing that doesn't make sense here is, of course, Tiffany Stratton getting in here and getting awarded a title shot by just, as we always say, attacking the champion. And with Nick Aldis telling Tiffany he nearly put her to the back of the line, but then was reconvinced by Bayley, and then he awards her a match. I mean, it's a little nonsensical, but we've seen this formula time and again, so we all just accept it. And you know what? Tiffany Stratton involved in this match, she's the X factor here. She's the X factor. Is there any chance of Bayley losing? Probably not. Almost certainly not with Naomi and Tiffany Stratton in the match. Naomi's not going to get a victory. Tiffany Stratton's not ready. Bayley just got a massive victory at WrestleMania. It all leads to Bayley retaining. There's just almost no chance that she loses the belt. And then, of course, we got Cody Rhodes and Carmelo Hayes in the main event. Now, Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa were attacked as they arrived, speaking with Paul Heyman about the draft and how they said that they weren't drafted yet, and Roman Reigns had exempt himself from eligibility. I don't know how you do that exactly, but whatever, let's just accept it. And Paul Heyman saying that Roman Reigns is going to be out for the immediate future. I think those were exact words, or the near future, something like that. And he knows we're going to pick apart everything he says. I still think that we're slated for a SummerSlam return of Roman Reigns. Sometime maybe in July, maybe at Money in the Bank. I don't think we're going to see Roman for another month or two. It's going to be maybe a couple months. Okay, so it's the end of April. I'd say the end of June, early July, right in time for Money in the Bank, is when we have a Roman Reigns return. That's my guess. Massive babyface return. It's going to be so much fun. And you know what? It totally changes the narrative, turns the page of a Roman Rock rivalry with Roman as the babyface and Rock as the heel, which I still don't want, but I'll accept if we just get the damn match. And we have just the fact that we haven't even seen a babyface Roman in the tribal chief role yet, which is going to be so much fun. They're going to set the table perfectly. They're already setting the table in an awesome way with Tama Tonga, who has done, without even saying much, already immediately fits perfectly into that story. He looks like an assassin. He's got a great look. Solo with the stoic looks and the threats and constantly on edge and always having to walk on eggshells. You know he could explode at any moment. I love that. Having Kevin Owens attack them from behind, get pulled apart. They they start brawling while the women are chatting. I think Bianca Belair and Jade and all the Kabuki Warriors were out there when the brawl broke out again. And we had Kevin Owens get beat down. Randy Orton comes out to make the save to a massive pop. Tries to go for the RKO on Solo. He didn't get it, which I really like. I think there's too many finishes being hit on heels generally, because it's more special when you get that finish get hit on a heel, because that's what you want to see, especially the RKO. So I like the delayed gratification. I'm a big fan of that. And so now we have a presumably a tag team match with Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga versus Randy Orton and KO at Backlash. I think that's probably where they're going. We'll get confirmation, but I would imagine that's probably what it is. I don't think Roman's going to show up at Backlash, as I said, probably not until Money in the Bank. If they bring him back earlier, they might, but I would advise against it. The longer you wait, the more time that you have between WrestleMania and his return, the more anticipation you build, the more fans get to miss him. So that's what I want. And I know people are like, oh, Roman's not here. I wish he was here. All of a sudden we want Roman back and it feels like it's been gone. He's been gone so long. But that's essentially for the last year and a half of his title run is how he managed his title run. I mean, that's how he managed his appearances. So it's really, guys, just par for the course. It just feels like he's gone longer because we want him back now. Instead of going, yeah, here he comes. He's going to defeat so-and-so for the belt, retain the belt. It was more of just honestly a liability when he was there, or a kind of a downer when he was there, because of the fact that you knew he wasn't going to drop the belt until it was a big stage and a big moment. And all of this other stuff was just kind of for show. So anyway, I really enjoyed Raw, or rather SmackDown, as far as a lot of the wrestling went, the progression of storylines. As I've said at the beginning, and I went on a big tirade about it, to the dismay of probably a lot of listeners, the draft is a joke. It is a complete and utter joke. Not that the fact that we shouldn't have a draft or that we shouldn't have certain stars on certain brands. The draft format is successful if you implement it and keep to the rules. But the way that it's presented is a joke. So we'll get more inadvertent laughs this coming Monday with people who have no business being involved in the first round, being in the first round. It's all performance, guys. We got to look past, really just take the pick and who's picked where out of the equation and just look at this as, okay, who's on what brand? I think that way some of us won't be so angry about who's on what slot and why was this person picked above this person, all that, because ultimately it's just who's on what brand. That's all that matters. That's really all that matters. The rest of it is just for public perception. That's it. And other agendas that I've laid out earlier in the show that probably annoyed some of you. So now let's get to a little bit of Monday Night Raw, as we covered it a little bit here, touched on it. But on Raw, we got, as I said, the women's world champion Becky Lynch emerged from the Battle Royal. She's now women's world champion because of the injury, as we all know, to Rhea Ripley. So Becky Lynch is now champion, beating out Liv Morgan, who were the final two in the Battle Royal. Liv Morgan stays on Raw so she can continue to feud with Becky Lynch. Nia Jax, as I said, comes to SmackDown. I don't hate that move because she's kind of worked with everyone she can on Raw. Gunther returned, which was good to see. And he was very threatening to not just the Intercontinental Champion, but also others. He wasn't very specific on other championships, but he did allude to the fact that he could go after whoever he wants. And we got the explanation from Chad Gable. Oh my God, what did I just say? Chad Gable? Oh my gosh. Am I having a seizure? Or stroke, rather. I have to go back. I was going to cut that out of the audio so I didn't sound stupid. But I'm going to go back and listen to what the hell I just said. I think I just had a mini stroke. But my point, Chad Gable had a standout performance on Raw, berating his team while then trying to tell them that it's about him. So breaking them down, humiliating them, only to tell them that they need to repledge their allegiance to him. It's just evil stuff. I am all for it. Like, sign me up, friend. I mean, like, bring me there. I want to see more of this Chad. And I want to see how Otis and Maxine and Akira Tozawa all react as we move forward to, is somebody going to defect? Is someone going to align truly with Chad? Is someone going to really, really, truly pledge their allegiance to him while others defect? What's Otis, who's the biggest X factor here? What does he do? Does Maxine eventually have enough and kick him in the nuts? Yeah, all those things. because the abuse is going to continue, and it's going to become a point where, okay, guys, can somebody just take this dude out? You know, that's a good story to tell. So I don't need the turn coming Monday. I don't need Maxine and Otis and Akira turning on him all at once. I'm here for the slow burn, but I think that's where it's leading. That's the story they're telling here, is how much abuse, verbal abuse, maybe physical, can they take before they finally snap? And as far as Chad's performance, it's everything you could have wanted. Chad is a shining light on Monday Night Raw. So I really enjoyed that. No Seth Rollins, who has purportedly got knee surgery. So he's out for the foreseeable future. We got more Drew McIntyre and Sheamus interaction, as I was very high on Raw, the Raw review with his burger after burger after burger, which was just a brilliant promo by Drew. One of the most fun I've heard in a while. And that was very memorable. Again, with no Punk there, they're trying to do the best they can to keep him in the minds of fans until Punk's able to return in likely a couple of months. So that's fine with me. They're taking the long road on this one as well, which, man, I'll tell you, mid to late summer is going to be a very interesting time around WWE with all the returns. Charlotte, Seth, probably Brock, Punk, right? Rhea Ripley. There's going to be a lot of the mid to late summer is going to be an even more stacked roster than right now. With the return of Roman Reigns, return of The Rock. There's like 7 people right there that we have to look forward to. If you're looking at this going, I have the WrestleMania kind of blues. Well, things are going to ramp up towards the mid to late summer. July, August, look out. I think we're going to be right back into it. And then already talking about WrestleMania 41 and the setups that they can be planting the seeds for at SummerSlam this year. What are they doing now to kind of plant the seeds and water them for WrestleMania 41? And I think the big storylines are the ones we'll look to for that. The ones that, the bloodline stuff, the champion, the top belts. What are they doing? How are they setting the stage? You can start to look at that at WrestleMania, or I keep saying at SummerSlam. This is really the first place that I look at it, is SummerSlam, to see what they've planted towards WrestleMania, because there's many examples in the past of even under the Vince McMahon regime of them doing that, believe it or not. So this is going to be a fun summer, guys, especially with all the returns coming up, all the massive pops, the big babyface Roman return, presumably, and the World Tag Team Championships, we all know with Miz and R-Truth, and they are likely going to lose the belts. They'll probably be the one shocker at Backlash losing the belts, I would imagine, if they have a tag team title match. But Grayson Waller and Austin Theory are likely going to hold theirs for some time, even if they do have I believe next week, right? They have a tag team title match with the Street Profits. So I think that they are going to, let's be serious, retain. It feels, for the first time, Grayson Waller and Austin Theory feel like they belong where they should be. They feel like they've kind of gained a lot of what they lost back. And they're not back. I don't think they're nearly as high as they're going to be in their careers, but at least they feel like they're in a place that isn't a dangerous place to be for their careers. It feels like they're in a good place right now. And I'm high on them, and I think they're going to hold the belts for quite some time too. Again, the one team that I don't think, and the one champions that are probably not going to hold their belts very long, R-Truth and The Miz. They are likely, that's my guess, going to be pretty short-term champions. So, well, that'll do it for my week in review. Hope everyone enjoyed it. I'll be back tomorrow with our current state of WWE with Anthony DeMarco. I know, guys, hey, listen, we have a whole bunch of voicemails. I understand that. If you send in your voicemail, I got to, here's the number. Here's the number I got to this week. 0. I got to none of them. I cranked out as many emails as I could, and I did not get to any of the voicemails. So what I may do is, for patrons only, I may get to a couple of them. I can't make any promises, but if I put any out, it'll be for patrons only. So if you are interested in joining Patreon and getting everything ad-free, now's a good time to do it. We just also published the After Dark exclusive for those of you on the SmackDown tier and up for Anthony DeMarco's review of the draft night 1. That was put out. So check that out if you want to go on the SmackDown tier and higher. That's a great place to get yourself ad-free and exclusive shows. So check it out there, guys, and let me know what you guys think about how to improve the show. Besides some of you saying you off of it, right? Some of you, I would say, would probably say, you want to know how to improve your show? Leave the show, right? He, hardy, har. But it's a genuine question, right? Do you guys want video? Do you guys want more audio? Do you guys want more exclusive shows on Patreon? It all comes down to you taking more of my free time away from my life, which is really what it is. Because I would love to do more video. I really, honestly, truly would. And I've dabbled in it a little bit, but it's very time consuming, even more so than audio. But if it's what patrons want, we can likely figure something out. Okay. So if you're interested in how to maybe make the show better, besides you telling me to leave the show, tell me what that is. Different types of topics. We've published a couple of topics from the Wrestle Magic team over the last couple of days about contracts, recent releases, and the Dynamite Kid. There was a few episodes of that, or two episodes specifically that we released over the last couple of days for those of you who are interested in those kind of alternate topics. But let me know. I mean, I'm genuinely interested. And if you want to send me an email, I won't put it on the mailbag. Just put in the subject, not for the mailbag, so I know that you don't want me to read it. But I'm interested, okay? Because I think it's something that the show needs. Needs a little bit of a shake-up. Needs something a little bit extra. But before we go, I'm going to give a shout-out, all right? We have a new patron, and that new patron is James Rainville. So, James, thank you for joining the family, my friend. I hope you enjoy your ad-free experience and your exclusive access to the After Dark show that's published every single week, which is usually Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'd say weekend time. Sometimes it's Friday, sometimes it's Saturday, sometimes it's early Sunday morning. It's all over, but it is the weekend time frame. So that's when the After Dark is published. But James, thank you for joining us, and thank you to all the patrons who continue to support the show. I'll be back tomorrow. Until then, talk to you next time.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.